Garland is entering the stage like a king coming to his podium.
The Department of Justice will speak through its court filings and its work. Just now, the Justice Department has filed a motion in the Southern District of Florida.
Let's hear it.
To unseal a search warrant and property receipt relating to a court-approved search that the FBI conducted earlier this week.
Okay.
That search was of premises located in Florida belonging to the former president. The department did not make any public statements on the day of the search. The former president publicly confirmed the search that evening, as is his right.
Was he allowed
both the
to release the
warrant
warrant?
and the FBI property receipt were provided on the day of the search to the former president's counsel, who was on site during the search.
Ooh, we have a disagreement of fact on that.
The search warrant was authorized by a federal court upon the required finding of probable cause.
Submitted by a corrupt
property
FBI.
receipt is a document that federal law requires law enforcement agents to leave with the property owner. The department filed the motion to make public the warrant and receipt in light of the former president's public confirmation of the search, the surrounding circumstances, and the substantial public interest in this matter. Faithful adherence to the rule of law is the bedrock principle of the Justice Department and of our democracy.
Klein Smith,
Upholding
corrupt
the rule of
FBI.
law
Tell
means
us more.
applying the law evenly, without fear or favor.
Oh, really? Okay.
Under
that's
my
nice.
watch, that is precisely what the Justice Department is doing.
Liar, liar,
All Americans
liar.
are entitled to the even-handed application of the law, to due process of the law, and to the presumption of innocence.
But some
Much of
people are
our
entitled
work is
to
by
more
necessity
presumption of
conducted
innocence.
out of the public eye. We do that to protect the constitutional rights of all Americans and to protect the integrity of our investigations.
When they fabricate evidence, they have to do it
Federal law,
privately.
Longstanding department rules, and our ethical obligations prevent me from providing further details as to the basis of the search at this time. There are, however,
I don't like hearing his
certain
saliva
points
from his
I
mouth.
want you to know.
Oh, I'm not allowed talking,
First,
but I want to say
I
this.
personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter.
Oh.
Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly.
Ha!
Where possible, it is standard practice to seek less intrusive means as an alternative to a search.
Where
And
possible.
to narrowly scope any search that is undertaken.
Like they did with Project Veritas.
Third, let me address recent unfounded attacks on the professionalism of the FBI and Justice Department
Unfounded
agents and
attacks on the
prosecutors.
FBI? You
I will
fabricated
not
evidence,
stand by
Garland.
silently when their integrity is unfairly attacked.
FBI
The
fabricated
men and
evidence
women of the
through their
FBI
counsel.
and the Justice Department are dedicated, patriotic public servants.
Oh, yeah.
Every day, they protect the American people from violent crime, terrorism, and other threats to their safety while safeguarding our civil rights.
Even when they're planning
They
it
do
themselves.
so at great
Whitmer.
personal sacrifice and risk to themselves. I am honored to work alongside them.
That's because you're equally
This is
corrupt as
all
they
I
are.
can say right
Garland.
now.
That's all you can say.
More information will be made available in the appropriate
Garbage.
way and at the appropriate time. Thank you.
You're now taking questions. No questions. No.
Thank you all for your questions. But as I said, this is all I can say at this time.
Oh, and I believe you because you're so trustworthy.
All right, so the Attorney
sympathetic.
General not taking any questions, but some important key things were mentioned there.
Nothing important was mentioned there, whoever you are from
That he
Fox.
said he wanted to point out that he did personally
Oh, maybe
approve
that. Okay, I take it back. She's right.
that search warrant of President Trump's
Personally.
Mar-a-Lago home.
And he got a very convenient judge to approve it. A judge who had to recuse himself from a file involving the Clintons and Trump, who then signed off on a warrant, a criminal warrant 2 weeks later.
And of course, there was a lot of people who knew about it because former President Donald Trump himself had been the one who had talked about how they did.
Did Biden know about it? Because Biden told us he didn't know about it until he saw it like the rest of us on the news.
come and raid his home. Now, another thing that was pointed out during this briefing was that not only did they have these copies, but they gave copies of those warrants to Trump's attorneys who were
disputed
there
fact.
present.
That's a
this
disputed
again,
fact.
Just coming in here to our Live Now from Fox desk. Of course, we want to continue breaking down just some of these different issues, especially when it comes to these different legal battles that the former president has now been dealing with. Going to be doing some legal analysis with Will Bruzo, who's here with us now on Live Now from Fox.
Do we want to?
I know we were on standby
lawyer
with each
on
other,
lawyer
for quite some time.
Let's do lawyer on lawyer
sticking
for a
around,
second.
and let's just kind of break down what was just said by the Attorney General, especially the part where he said he personally was the one who had signed these search warrants to the Mar-a-Lago home.
He personally approved the search warrants.
I think that is unusual.
Biden
that
knew about it.
The head of the Department of Justice would approve it, but of course, he's approving a search, or the FBI was about to do a search on a former president. So I can see why they ran that one up the flagpole. Every time, before law enforcement does a search, I've been a criminal defense attorney for about 30 years now.
It's a long
Every time that they do a search, they have to gather evidence. In this case, it appears, and this story's been unraveling, as we speak.
Oh, it's been unraveling, all right.
I learned this morning that an informant actually communicated to the Department of Justice that
that's
there was
old news.
Documents.
That's from yesterday.
At the Mar-a-Lago estate, and
that was their insider,
where they were,
specific information.
We also learned
told them where it was, which is why they had to go into a safe that contained nothing.
There were efforts by the DOJ or the FBI to get these documents, and those efforts were resisted by President Trump and his,
the efforts were
and
allegedly resisted.
So this was a last recourse, apparently, by the Department of Justice, where they actually issued a subpoena and had it.
That's interesting.
Enforced
Why could it not go by way of motion
FBI.
to court, not
So,
seizure,
the normal
not
process
raid?
is evidence is gathered, and then it goes to a judge. Well, in this case, as you all know,
this doesn't make sense. What he's saying.
Who's the director of the FBI, was appointed by Donald Trump in 2017.
They always got to mention that.
Those were his agents that went to Mar-a-Lago.
They always got to mention that.
And then a judge, Bruce Reinhardt, was appointed by Donald Trump in 2018. So it does appear that this was the normal process for going through a subpoena to get information. What was unusual was the person that the house that they were searching was, of course, President Trump's. But it does look like they went through the regular rigmaroles for conducting such a search.
Well, and that was something else.
Here's
that,
what doesn't
he
make
wanted
sense.
To say is that there's not going to be silence when it comes to people personally attacking.
Remind me, it's about the documents that they want. It's not about a search. They knew what they wanted. They're not searching for anything. They're trying to get certain documents.
On this, since it is the first time we've seen a former president's home being raided by the FBI.
It's the new America, people. It's the new America.
That he says
this is encouragement. Run for politics. This is what's going to happen to you afterwards.
Well, I think what he's saying is that the FBI was just doing its job. He was just doing his job.
Just doing our jobs.
Signed the warrant. Everyone was just doing their
Everyone's just doing their jobs.
There have been efforts apparently to get these documents from President Trump since at least June or
previous. Then go to court and have a court order it, not by seizure raid.
Turn over these documents, and so that could have been the problem. But what Mr. Garland is saying is that everyone is just doing their job.
Yeah, everyone's just doing their job.
You can't villainize public servants for doing their job, especially the FBI. These people keep us.
Why
safe.
not?
They've kept us.
They
safe
keep
from
us
terrorist
safe.
Attacks,
Can I close this down, people?
And so to villainize them for doing their job is simply wrong. I think that's what the director is saying.
And let's just also kind of talk about, since we know that this is a separate issue from what the former president is dealing with in New York City.
I don't care about this anymore. They keep us safe. And I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying that of recent memory, let me just pull up a window here. Of recent memory, they kept Gretchen Whitmer safe because they foiled the plot that they were setting up. I guess technically they kept Gretchen Whitmer safe because they protected her from the act that they were orchestrating. I guess so.